Hey guys, it's Dustin Maher with Fit Moms for Life, and I've got my buddy Todd Herman here in New York City in his
part 2.
Beautiful place. This is part 2. If you guys missed part 1, I'll put a link. We talked about what it takes to have the Olympian mindset, the championship mindset. And you know, Todd, I'm all about, helping moms get in shape, overcome their fears, overcome their barriers.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that we do internally to self-sabotage, and we get on a roll, and then maybe an unsupportive husband comes along and says something, or maybe the scale's not changing as quickly as we want. What can we do to overcome that?
Well, I explain to people, so when I'm working with athletes, what I might do a little bit differently than others is I actually explain to people how we work internally, like how the brain works, and then how all that works together with the quantum soup of the physiology of our body. So when it comes to the idea of changing a behavior, implementing a new habit, a new way of being as a human, as a person, and there's nothing that seems to be more difficult than getting on a new fitness plan. It seems for most people. That's why,
Or eating.
January 7th rolls around and all of a sudden the gyms are empty again.
Right.
So what's actually happening internally with most people, so we have this goal that we want to achieve. So it could be losing 15 pounds, it could be eliminating something from our diet, whatever it might be. So day one, we love the idea of the rewards that we're going to gain from this. So we're really motivated to do it. Day one happens, we get it done. Awesome. Check. Day 2 happens. Still motivated. We do it. Great. Day 3, this was a little bit harder than I thought it was going to be. And I would have liked to have gotten the result. Because people immediately want to look for the result right away. Oh, like, do I look a little bit thinner in the mirror? Or, am I feeling that much better? Usually with a diet change, you do actually feel better. But you start to get a little bit of resistance. And then day 4 starts to be kicking in a little bit more. Your mind is starting to get engaged in what you're missing out on now instead of what you're really gaining, the rewards that you're getting. But what's actually happening, and then we get into this whole idea of self-sabotage you had mentioned earlier. But what's really happening is you're misinterpreting the messages that your body is telling you. So we get this kind of what we feel is some sort of negative vibration inside of us. What's actually happening is at a cellular level, cells in our body have receptors on the end of them. And that's how hormones in our body communicate with the cells of our body. Most people live in this quantum soup of cortisol. We live in this stress world. Well, at a cellular level, if the only message that this cell is getting is, let's say cortisol is shaped like a little square. So the cortisol gets dumped into our bloodstream, goes to our cells, and then the cell gets nothing, it's fed nothing but these little square cortisol receptors, or hormones. Yeah. And so our cell is obviously going to have little notches on the outside to accept the square. Now, we've all played the game when maybe we don't play the game, but with little babies when they're trying to put the triangle in the triangle hole and the circle in the circle. Well, the same thing happens kind of at the cellular level. So when we start actually moving something that's positive and we're kind of excited about it, we're actually flooding our body with dopamine. Dopamine could be shaped like, just for lack of a better term, it could be shaped like a triangle. So our triangles are getting dumped in the body and they're going to our cells, and our cells start vibrating because they can change themselves. They're not stuck at this shape of a square. And so that cell that's changing to accept the dopamine so that the cells in our body can react in a different way, which is to possibly lose weight or to adopt the new eating habit plan or whatever. So that cellular level, that vibration that's happening, most people interpret it as that kind of vibration that's going on inside of them as it's a negative thing. No, it's just the body going through the natural process of change. If we would just trust that process and move through it, we would actually have our cells of our body get more addicted to dopamine, the feeling good hormone. And the more that we kind of stay on this path of constant evolutionary change where we're actually becoming better and better and better and better and better, we actually stay in this usually normal state of dopamine. We're feeling good all the time because that's what our cells are asking for. The reason that we stay in this stressed out state is because that's what our cells have been asking for. Oh my God, I haven't gotten my cortisol shot today. I haven't been stressed out yet today. I better start to send some sort of message around my body to allow this brain of theirs to start thinking negative thoughts so they can start to get stressed out. So that's the biology of change. And when you're going through and you start to feel this resistance at changing a new behavior, it's not a bad thing. It's just the body reacting to the kind of food that you've been feeding it from the hormonal level.
Right.
And yes, you're going to have, you mentioned external stressors like husbands who might not be supportive, or family members who might not be supportive. But if you can, I call the positive power of negative preparation. So most people think that what I do is like, oh, I'm a motivational speaker or something like that. No, we usually talk about, the negative preparation more often than not. Mental toughness is about preparing for negative events in the future, because in a sporting game or an event, not everything goes your way, but it's how you respond in that moment that can change it. And so if I get my personal interpretation in my own head is that if someone ever gives me some sort of knock against me, or if they criticize me, the only thing I say to myself is, because there's never a statue ever erected for a critic. There's no critic statues everywhere in the world. There's only statues erected for people who've done great things. So when I tell myself it's great, I'm on the right path. I'm doing the right thing. Because most people don't want you to change, because they live in their own world. Everything's organized properly in their own world. And all of a sudden you're going to start changing things. Who do you think you are to become more fit, to start eating better? Because that disrupts my world. So sometimes we're happy, because it's just disrupting their world. It's just them projecting. So if I get that criticism from others, my internal self-talk is, good job, Todd, you're on the right path.
Yeah.
That's it. So just be calm about it. So that's that kind of positive power of that negative preparation. Think about things that could happen in the future that could be perceived as negative. How can you respond positively to it?
Yeah. I like it. Great advice, and Todd's got a program too out there.
Yeah, the championschallenge.com is a 60-day program that is for athletes, parents, coaches as well. That basically stair steps them, walks them through the same process that I'd work with a Olympic athlete on, or one of my professional clients, or I even do some mentoring with amateur athletes to help them learn the proper goal setting process. And the foundation of everything that we do, it's all about goal setting, because our mind, our brain is a goal seeking mechanism. Most of us just don't do a very good job of giving it the coordinates of what it is that we want to kind of achieve. So then we usually don't get the results that we want. So there's goal setting, and then there's overcoming certain things like anger and frustration and blame and judgment, those things that we have along the pathway to our journey. And it's every single day you get a new lesson. It's not like an hour long, it's quick little short bites that keep you moving forward and keep the momentum going for you.
Yeah, I'm going to put a link out for that, so you guys definitely check that out. Todd knows what he's talking about. He works with the best around the world.